Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it, Why We Cannot Talk About This. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use pictures. I haven't done that in a while, but I think it's a much better way to illustrate this. To see why talking about this is actually a distraction to the fact that we are. So, people have asked me if I give talks. In the past, I used to talk especially about A Course in Miracles, and prior to that I used to talk about self-empowerment and all that stuff. That seems to be part of a journey that I had to travel, a road that I had to travel. Once all this started settling in, the desire to speak about it dropped. Does that mean that I will never speak about any of this if I was invited to a speaking engagement? I don't know, because I'm not in charge of any of it. However, having said that, let's begin with our illustrations. So first of all, as you can see, all that there is what is. Call it space-like, field of pure potentiality, call it energy, or don't call it anything, it doesn't matter. You see, this is it. That's all there is. This is where non-duality points to. So, that field of pure potentiality is the one in charge of everything. It's the one in charge of everything that seems to be happening within it. Whatever happens in it has no choice on its own. It has no self-autonomy, because whatever is projected in that field is governed by that field. You see? So now, you don't see that I'm drawing anything in it. Of course, there's nothing to draw. All that there is pure potentiality. Meaning that anything could happen within it. So, pay attention, this is when it gets interesting. Within that field, a thought appears. And I know that I talked about this on the introduction of these videos, but I'm going to use a different approach. I think you'll like this one. That is just a thought. However, that thought is governed by the field itself. Nonetheless, that thought is the one that projects the whole world of appearances. So to keep it simple, let's use few images only. Notice that that thought projects a body. That thought also projects thoughts. That thought also projects feelings, sensations. As you can see, the body, the feelings and sensations, and the thoughts, they're three different independent things. Now, that thought which projects all three independent things links them together, and now it appears that the body is the one that thinks, and that the body is the one that has feelings. But the body, as well as the sensations and the feelings, as well as the thoughts that it thinks that it's thinking, all of that are projections from that mind. You see? Technically speaking, that mind, because it believes to be the body, it forgets that the body is its own projection, and now it identifies with the body as if that body was the mind itself, when in reality that body is a projection from that mind. That is why when you're in bed and you begin to dream, you have forgotten that you are the dreamer of the dream, and you're totally identified with the dream as if the dream figure is you. You see? So, whatever happens in the world of appearances is governed by that thought that projects everything. Therefore, prior to this seeming instrument or image or body, whatever you want to call it, prior to me, this little me, is a thought which is referred to as mind. Now, prior to the mind is you. Not you, person. You, totality. Capital Y. So why we cannot talk about this? Because in order for me to talk about this, the mind has to come into the picture. And the moment the mind comes into the picture, that which I am is overlooked. You see? So how do we bring that or put this into relevance here within the dream we appear to be? Well, the information, the understanding, the knowing of this, it allows to at least get rid of any guilt we may feel or any pressure we may feel thinking that we are doing anything. We're not doing anything. Mind which projects this character or this dream is the one doing everything. And yet, once again, that mind is a seeming appearance in all that there is. So, these words are being said, but it's not me the one who chooses to say them. It's just what is being said. Actions are taking place in the world of appearances, but it's not me who takes those actions. So this information is very helpful, so you can take this weight off your shoulder realizing I'm not in charge of anything. I simply am. And all the thoughts are appearances in the I am. And the feelings and sensations are appearances in the I am. And this body also is an appearance in the I am. When that is integrated, you rest in the I am. You know that I am, also known as love. You see? There's no sense of separation. There's just simply the recognition that I am, while I still appear as a body interacting and apparently having thoughts and sensations and everything. You see? And this is where this is pointing to, and that's what is pointing to silence. And interestingly enough, intellectually I may know that I am, but intuitively I know that I am, but it's not me, the body, that knows that I am, and it's not even the mind that is dreaming the dream that knows that I am, is that I am. Once this is recognized, not by anyone, but I don't know what words to use, you continue living your life the same thing you've done before. Well, maybe not the same way when there was worry, concern, when you didn't know this, but what I'm saying is that life continues, but the way you live life, you live it differently, because this awareness, beingness is so clear that now from the moment you wake up in the morning, it all happens. And this is where this information is pointing to. That's why this is not to talk about this. And yet, that which projects this whole thing is the one inspiring this instrument to talk about this. So I'm aware that I'm talking about this not because of a choice, but because of this is what happens. And if I'm supposed to not to talk about this anymore, that which is in charge of the whole thing will take the desire of talking about this from me, from this seeming instrument. And that's why this is very simple. You see me talking about this, you see yourself listening to this information, that which dreams the whole thing is in charge of the whole enchilada. We're both part of the very same field of pure potentiality that seems to have taken manifestation for a certain seeming amount of time. And that's how you can rest in peace right now. You can take the pressure off. And again, this is paradoxical, because that which is dreaming this whole thing is telling me to say you can take the pressure off, and if that which is dreaming the whole thing doesn't want you to take the pressure off, you won't be able to take the pressure off. But if that which is dreaming this whole thing is telling me to tell you this, and is telling you to hear this, I don't know, let's keep it simple. You know what this is pointing to. Just rest in that. And that's it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.